Okay, so my square's done. I've darned in all my ends. We're now moving on to the hair, and we need to do a magic ring again. Over the front of your hand, pinch beneath your thumb, wind down the back of your hand up over the front, turn your hand, make a cross, pinch with your ring finger, pick up your hook. Under the top right, face your hook downwards and pull the top left to the right, and then turn your hook towards you so it's looped like so. We're then going to go and pick up the top right. No, we're not. We're then going to go and pick up the top left of our cross again. Pull it through the loop that's on our hook, and your magic ring's done. And then pull out that non-working yarn so it's not tangled up. There we go. There's our magic ring. We want to chain 2. 1 and 2. And we then need to do 7 half trebles into the ring. So yarn over, into the ring, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 3. We've done 1. Into the ring, yarn over, into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. There's 2. Yarn over, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you can now close that ring by pulling on that end. Remember, do it slowly. You don't want it to tangle up like mine did last time. There we go. And that's row 1 done. We're now turning our work, so we're turning it over. Because we're not working in a circle, we're keeping that as a semicircle and working back over to the other side. So for row 2, and I know black is difficult to see, I'm trying to keep this so you can see it. Chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. You then want to do a treble into the same stitch that your chains are coming out of. So yarn over, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We then need to do 2 trebles into each of the next 7 stitches. So yarn over, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over into the same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, into the next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, into the same stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, into the next, there's 1, into the same stitch, there's 2, into the next, there's 1, into the same stitch, there's 2, into the next, there's 1, into the same, there's 2. I'll just count back how many I've done because I wasn't keeping track. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to do 2 more lots of 2 trebles into the next. There's 1 and 2, and then into the next. There's 1 and 2. So if you count back from your hook, going all the way back with how many stitches you have, you should have 16 in total. We're now going to turn again and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we want to do a double treble into the same stitch. So yarn over twice, into the same, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 trebles into the next, yarn over into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Oh, that's come off. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then another treble into that same stitch. We're doing a treble and a half treble into the next stitch. So yarn over into the next, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then a half treble into the same stitch. So yarn over into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. 2 half trebles into the next stitch. So yarn over into your next, pull up a loop, pull through all 3, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. We now need to do a double crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. So into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. I've done 1. Into my next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. After your 8 double crochets, you want to do 2 half trebles into the next, yarn over into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. I've done 1, and then another half treble into the same stitch. 1 half treble and 1 treble into the next, yarn over into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and a treble into the same stitch. Yarn over into the same, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 trebles into the next stitch, so yarn over into your next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and another treble into the same stitch. And into your last stitch, we're doing 2 double trebles, so yarn over into your last stitch, so yarn over twice, into your last stitch, which I can't quite see at the moment. There we go. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice into the same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. You can then go ahead and fasten that one off because that is your hair complete. Remember to leave a long tail though, because we'll be using it to fasten it onto our square. We're now going to be making the headband using the ice blue. So if you add a slip knot to your hook, we then want to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So after your 16 chains, we want to slip stitch into the second chain. So not the first one away from the hook, but the second one. And you want to go in through to make sure you get the 2 top loops at the top. So I don't know if you can see there, but there's like 3 pieces of yarn. You've got your top one, your middle one here, and then there's one at the bottom. You want to go in through, so those go in through that corner here, so the top 2 stay at the top. So you would go in through there. It's really fiddly. And then pull up a loop and pull that loop through the one that's on your hook. I can't see why it would make much difference, to be quite honest with you, and I can't even get it through. There we go. If you struggle with that too much, don't worry about it. It's not going to make much of a difference. Slip stitch into the next 2 chains, but just normally. Just go in through, pull up a loop, pull it through the one that's on your hook, and then repeat that into the next one as well. We then want to do a double crochet into each of the next 3 chains. So into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. There's 1, into the next. There's 2, into the next. There's 3. A half treble in the next 3 chains, yarn over into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and one more. After your half trebles, you want to do a double crochet into each of the next 3, into the next, pull up a loop. Oh, that's stuck. Into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. I've done 1 double crochet, into the next, there's 2, into the next, there's 3. A slip stitch into the next 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. And there's that one done. So you can fasten it off, and it says to leave at least a 25cm tail. Sorry, that's really twisted, isn't it? I was trying to show you what it was. Leave at least a 25cm tail so you can fasten that one on. So from here, it's all about sewing on the additional bits that we've just made and then doing the face. I know this is the worst bit, and I'm just trying to push myself through it to get it done. So in the magazine it says to do the eyes first. I'm not going to do that like I've done in all my other videos, because I want to make sure that they're in the right place. So I always add my hair on first. So it says to pin the hair centrally in place so that it just overlaps the edge of the face and the outside ends of Jasmine eyebrows. Well, we don't have eyebrows yet. So sew it down with small slip stitches around the outside edge using the 2 yarn tails. Well, we've got 1 yarn tail, and we're just going to sew all the way around like we have done before. So what we're doing really is we're just putting our hair on top like that, and then we're going to pin it in place. Theirs is actually a lot lower. So if you look in the magazine, the top of their hair comes to the top of the last brick red round. If I were to just put it on the edge like it explains, it would cover up that last round. But theirs in the magazine comes down further, like that. So we would pin it there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a pin. It's central, and I'm going to pin that in place. So from there, what is it telling us to do? It would then tell us to put on the headband next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew the hair down, and then we'll continue with what else it tells us to do. So my hair's sewn down, and what I will say is make sure you pull it outwards. You don't want it coming down either side of the face. You want it kind of sticking out, because I could have curved it round. But you can see there's a slight gap here and there's a slight gap down here. We want it pointing outwards. So our next step would be, and it says, position the headband just above the centre parting with the foundation chain uppermost. Then pin it back symmetrically in place. Sew it down with back stitches worked in the V's. I don't understand what that means, I'll be completely honest with you. I think it's just a case of putting it on and seeing what happens. So, which way does it go on? It does say that it's got to go a certain way. Position the headband just above the centre parting with the foundation chain uppermost. The foundation chain is just these lines along the bottom. If you look on the top, you can see your V's. So your V's want to go facing upwards. So we're just literally putting it in place and bending it round so it's that semicircular shape, and making sure it goes on from side to side. And making sure as well, when you do it, that it's equal both sides too. You don't want it to be bent up one way and not bent the other. So it would kind of go around there. That's not playing ball that side, it's not staying in place. When I pin it down, it will. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that one down, and then I will show you what to do from there. So once the hairband's on, it'll look like that. Mine is really, really wonky this time round. I've got a lot more hair this side than I have that side, but what can I do? That's just how it's come out, unfortunately. I don't want to do it again. So my tail of black yarn, I've got quite a long one there. I've left that on to do the eyes and when we've done everything else. But for now, it wants us just to use stitches to create the hair. So I'm going to cut off a length of the black wool. I don't understand why it's telling us to do this with embroidering, because it's not teaching us how to do the stitch. So it's like essentially make it up as you go along, which is really frustrating. And I'm just quite annoyed for you that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to teach you here, but I don't know what I'm doing either. What we have to do is, starting at the base of this corner of hair, we have to create a circular shape, because Jasmine's hair comes out in a circular shape and then her earring would go in the middle, and I know that we're doing that afterwards. So we need to start here. We need to create a circular shape going round, and then afterwards it's telling us to create the ponytail. But to begin with, I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to tie that one on. So I'm going back up through that black, and then I want to create this semicircle shape. So I'm going to go in down through here. I'm sure I'm going to end up back stitching here, but that's fine, I guess. Goodness knows what their straight stitches means. And then I'll go up through here and then back in through the bottom of the last stitch, trying not to tangle up with the yarn that I've got saved at the back. And then in near the face, I'm going to go up through that one, and then back through the bottom of the last stitch. So I have created that circular shape, but what I want to do personally is I'm going to go over it and just make it a bit thicker, because no hair is that thin, especially Jasmine. She's got really, really thick, luscious locks, hasn't she? And what we will be doing, and I'll do it off camera, not necessarily the ponytail, but the way that I've just done that bit, you need to repeat it on the other side so it looks exactly the same. Just going to do, probably this is going to be my last row of doing it, I think. And then one more here. So I'm really happy with how that looks. I know that I've just got to add the earring into that space. But we also need to do the ponytail, which is saying just to come out from the side and again go round in a semicircle. So I'm going to start up through this hole. Oh no, I won't actually, because it's just pulled my last stitch out. So I'll go back in through there. I'm going to go up through that one and back in that way. And then up through that, oh, I dropped my needle. Up through that one, back in that way, and then up through there, in that one. Is that long enough? No, not quite. Do another one. Is that long enough? I think we'll do one more. And just like what I did for this bit, I'm just going to keep going over those to make those thicker, and then I'm going to repeat it on the other side, what I've done here, and then I'll meet you and show you what you need to do from there. So once you've finished, it should look something like this, and I feel like it's slightly coming together now. We now need the cyan. So I've cut a length and I'm going to put it on my needle. And first off, we're going to do the scrunchie in her hair, and then we're going to do the jewel on her headband. So decide where you want the placement of the scrunchie. It can literally go anywhere, it doesn't matter, does it? But mine's going to go in here, so I'll go up through. Remember to leave a tail at the back, and then down through the other side. And we just want a few straight stitches across. At least this time it's a fairly easy one. I want that to thicken out a bit. Does that look right? I think I'm going to go in beneath it. Make it a bit thicker. There, that looks a bit better. You can now fasten that one off and join your yarn up here, because we're going to make a jewel for the headband as well. So for the jewel on the headband, you want your needle to come up through exactly central. And then go down over the top of the headband, again central. And now you just want to add some straight stitches either side just to thicken it out. Now I'll do a stitch on the other side. Is that thick enough? Yeah, I'd say that's thick enough. It then says to do a couple of short stitches to make it into more of an oval shape. So I'm going to go sort of halfway and a bit more of a diagonal. Then back in through the top. And then up through the bottom. And then meet that stitch at a slight diagonal. And it's pushed the shape of that one out slightly, and now repeat it on the other side. If it will let me. There we go. And then come up from the bottom again. Go down through that one. And you should have a shape that looks like that on your headband. Mine doesn't even look central, but like I said, this one's a bit wonky, and I'm afraid my Jasmine's just going to have to be a bit wonky for the time being. So the next step is our earrings and the outline of the jewel. So you want to cut off some sunflower yarn, which they're calling gold for this. That's fine, it's kind of gold, I guess. So I'm going to put that one on my needle. Okay, so we're essentially doing like a puff stitch for the earring. So we want to find the middle space in between where we want the earring to go. So we want the earring to be like a circle here. So we want it to start in the middle of that. So I'd say just there. And remember to hold your yarn at the back so it doesn't come out. And this is going to be quite a few stitches, I think. So we're just going to be working it up and working it up so it like puffs out. Making sure that we've got that like puff stitch type shape. I think this is another one that might take a while, you know. This square feels like, to me, it's the one that's taken me the longest and has been the most complicated and difficult to understand so far. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit mortified with how I film this because I feel like I've not been the best of help. I also hate when sewing that I can't give you really any instruction. Like obviously with crocheting there's instructions, but with sewing I'm just doing it. You're just watching me. Oh, I got stuck on my scissors and I feel like I hate silence. I think we're nearly there, aren't we? I just don't like that I can see a bit of orange or whatever colour it is. Is it brick red? I don't like that I can see that there. So I'm going to go up through the bottom and do a stitch to come around here and hopefully that'll sit over that bit of orange. Yep, that's hidden that nicely. Do I think that's big enough? I feel it's quite square. I want it to be more oval. I might try and do a diagonal stitch here like we did for the jewel at the top, just to sort of like hopefully round that one off a bit. And then come in via the bottom. And back in. I don't know if I've just made it worse. Is that right? Is that enough? It's a bit bigger than the one in the magazine, but I want a puff stitch. I want it to stand out. I want it to look 3D, so that's why I'm keeping going. I think I possibly need one more to go in here. Right, so if you're not backing your blanket and you're worried about ends, I would fasten off here. If you are backing your blanket, I'm just going to go straight up to do my jewel now without fastening this off. So for our jewel, we're literally just outlining it. So I'm going to come up at the bottom of that one, make sure the blue is the right side of the stitch that you're doing though. And then into here. Up through the top. And back down the other side. Across the other side to the left of the middle. And onto the top. And then down the bottom again. And back down to your side. There we go, and this should be the last one that we need to do. Just make sure all those stitches are a fairly equal size. It should look like that. Now what you need to do is go ahead and finish off the earring on the other side. After I've done that, I'm also going to put my eyes on, because you know this isn't something that I normally do on camera because they're the same on everyone, and I realise this video is going on for absolutely ages. So when I've done my other earring and my eyes, I'll come back and show you what the final square looks like. So there you have it. There is my finished Jasmine portrait square. I don't know about you, but that was probably my least favourite so far that I've done. I had to really push myself to get through this one, mainly because it's just wonky and it doesn't look right to me. And the reason it doesn't look right, because if you compare it to the other sort of Sim faces that we've done, the eyes should be a lot lower, but I had to line the eyes up with the earrings, and that is completely my mistake. I should have done the earrings sort of a lot lower down here. And then I could have lined the eyes up with the earrings. It wouldn't have looked right if the earrings were above her eyes. That would have looked a bit odd. So I've just done it as it is, and it's done now. So that's just what I'm going to live with. I'm really sorry it's not my best. I'm really sorry that it's not as good as it could have been. But at least you know from me talking to you in the video now what not to do. If you wanted to go ahead and make yours look a bit better, when you're doing the edges of the hair, I would bring it down a lot lower. Like, do it double the amount that it says. And then add the earring in. Make it almost the hair line up with the bottom of the face. I think that would probably be the best thing to do. But we've tried. We've done our best. Well, I have. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying we. I've tried my best. And do you know what? It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look as cute as the other ones we've done because the eyes are so high up. But it's fine. It's done. I know for next time if I should ever decide to do this all over again. But I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope this video has been helpful enough for you. So please leave it a like if you are using the videos alongside your subscription, just so I can gauge how many people are still following along. Leave a comment if you need any help, and hit subscribe if you want a notification for when the next video is posted. So all that's left to say is have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one. See you then.